Hi everyone, Miss Tui here. When you think of patterns, you probably think of images that repeat to make a pretty design. You might also think of patterns learned in math using shapes and numbers. Did you know patterns can also be found in the way things move? Today, you are going to help Ozobot have some fun as it moves along following patterns. Then you will apply your programming skills to help Ozobot mimic patterns found in the real world. For today's lesson, you will need an Ozobot fully charged and calibrated, color code markers, a pencil, both pages of your patterns in motion activity sheets, and a blank piece of paper. In today's lesson, you will make observations about different patterns on a path, make predictions about the motion of the bot following the patterns, test your predictions by adding lines and color codes to program your bot in motion, and use lines and color codes to create your own demonstration of patterns in the real world. A force is a push or a pull on an object. A force needs to act upon an object to begin, maintain, and change an object's motion. Motion is the process of an object moving. Some motion can repeat because it occurs in a pattern. Motion that repeats often happens when an object in motion is moving from or around a fixed location. When an object moves in a pattern, the motion and forces acting on the object can be measured and predictions can be made about the future motion of the object. A pattern is a sequence that repeats. Let's begin by looking at the patterns in motion map. Do you notice that the map is incomplete? There are 4 missing parts along the map. Each missing part belongs to a certain pattern or sequence that repeats. The map has 4 different patterns made up of lines or color codes. The first ABB pattern in motion uses lines to program Ozobot to move in different shapes. The second AB pattern in motion uses lines and color codes to program Ozobot to move in different directions. The third AAB pattern in motion uses color codes to program Ozobot to move different speeds. The fourth ABC pattern in motion uses lines of different colors to program Ozobot to change direction and to change color. Can you find the 4 different patterns on the map? Now that you know the map has 4 different patterns, you are going to make predictions about each. Get out page 1. First, you will define a pattern in your own words. Then, you will predict the missing parts of the map by looking at each pattern. Let's look at the first pattern. I notice the bot moves following the shapes triangle, square. I also know that this should be an ABB pattern. If the bot continued to move, what shape would the bot move in next? The bot would move in the shape of a square because the pattern is not yet complete. I am going to write my prediction below number 1 on the activity sheet. Can you define a pattern on your activity sheet and write your prediction to tell how the bot would move next following the first pattern? After the first prediction has been written, you are ready to make predictions about the other 3 patterns. Move on to number 2 on your activity sheet. Think, if the AB pattern were to continue, what would come next? Can you write your predictions to tell how the bot would move next following all 3 patterns? Great job analyzing the patterns on your map to make predictions. Next, you will use color code markers to apply your predictions and to complete the map. Looking at the first pattern on my map, I predicted the bot would move in the shape of a square. So I am going to use my black marker to add a square into the missing part of the map. I am going to continue to use my predictions to add in the other missing color codes or lines to continue each pattern. Can you use your predictions and your color code markers to complete your map? Let's check your predictions. Here is the completed map. Your shape pattern should end with a square. Your special moves pattern should restart with a spin code. The speed pattern should restart with a slow code. The colored lines pattern should continue with the blue line. Time to get your Ozobot to test your predictions. Place your Ozobot on start and watch as it demonstrates all 4 patterns in motion. Let's apply what you know about patterns in motion to think about motion in real life. You have experienced patterns in motion in real life if you have ever been swinging on a swing, riding on a merry-go-round, jumping rope, throwing or kicking a ball against a wall, or bouncing a ball on the ground. You are also on a pattern of motion every day. Our planet, Earth, moves in a pattern as it spins and moves around the sun. Similarly, the moon moves in a pattern to orbit the Earth. Can you think of any other examples of motion that happen in a repeated sequence? Now that you are thinking about patterns in motion found in real life, you will use your programming skills to have Ozobot show them to others. You will choose 2 or 3 objects that repeat in motion and write the names of the objects on a blank piece of paper. I chose to show how motion can repeat or move in a pattern using a swing, a merry-go-round, and a ball being kicked at a wall. I use lines and color codes to program Ozobot to show the patterns in motion for each object. Let's watch my bot in action as it mimics a swing, a merry-go-round, and a ball to show patterns in motion. Can you choose 2 or 3 objects that repeat in motion? Can you use lines and color codes to program Ozobot to move in a pattern like the objects? Remember to check your work. The Patterns in Motion activity sheet should have a definition written for the word pattern, a prediction written for all 4 patterns on the map. The Pattern in Motion map should have lines and color codes to show the next steps for all 4 patterns. The blank piece of paper should have the names of 2 or 3 objects written out, lines and color codes to show the objects in motion. Looking for more? Create a motion pattern with your body that matches the motion of your Ozobot on the Pattern in Motion map. Or create your own Pattern in Motion map. Come back again soon for our next lesson.